So in this video, I wanted to give you guys a quick little tutorial on how I ended up dyeing this pair of sneakers to the brown colorway that I'm going to be doing for you guys with this dip dye. Originally, I was going to be doing orange, but I decided against it, and I wanted to show you guys the brown colorway instead. I would definitely recommend that you guys do some color sample tests before you guys decide on some of these colors, because some of them are crazy vibrant and could ruin the shoe depending on what you guys are going for, what look you're going for. So wanted to give you guys a heads up that I did try this out on a fake pair of zebra Yeezys, and this is graphic footage right here. You've been warned before I show you the shoe. 3, 2, 1, turn away. Boom. So I know that some of you guys are gonna be like, what in the world did Hess do? Just know that I wanted to try a couple things with this. I know it's not the look that I was going for, but I wanted to try the dyes out. So I wanted to let you guys know that I tried 2 different types of dyes, not just 2 different colors. Obviously, you could see 2 different colors of purple and a red, but I wanted to try 2 different types. So Rit has a couple different dyes, and this stuff is specifically for synthetic materials. So there's some for regular all-purpose. As you can see, I have the all-purpose brown, and then there's other ones that are synthetic. And I was not 100% sure of what materials this Yeezy has on it and how some of the colors react to the dye. So as you can see, the red is extremely red. It looks like a Kool-Aid look to it, and that is because I used the synthetic dye. I don't think that the regular navy dye took to this after I ended up using the red too well. So I think that the synthetic dye actually adds a lot more color pop, at least to the midsole, but for the upper, it didn't really hold as well as I would have expected. Also, there's some parts of the upper, such as the heel tab, for example, that took to the navy dye really well. Meanwhile, the back tab didn't take to it at all, and there's some parts of the inside that took the navy dye fairly well. And lastly, you can see down the middle, there is the stitches, and the stitches down here actually took the navy dye really well. So the dye didn't really work that well on the upper, but I also didn't color treat it, and I'm gonna be doing that in this video. So there's a couple different steps to note. So let's go ahead and give it a try. I'm gonna turn these into a brown pair of Yeezys. I'm gonna use the synthetic dye, and I think that this one is gonna work the best because I want a dark brown look on the midsole of this shoe. I think it will look way dope with the dark brown and then a lighter brown upper, because I don't think that this is gonna absorb the upper as well. I also did remove the laces, as you can see, and I removed the insoles. I could dye the insoles, but honestly, I don't wanna do that. So this is gonna be it. This is gonna be the test. The synthetic dye actually recommends that you use a stovetop to dye. I need to have some water on the stovetop that's almost boiling, and then I will give this a go. But this is the dye. It says to use the whole bottle, honestly, which is crazy. It says shake well before using, use rubber gloves. You definitely want a stainless steel pot. It says heat the water on the stovetop just below boiling. Maintain temperature for a duration of the dyeing. Add the dye, mix well. Stir occasionally for 30 minutes or until a desired color is achieved, up to 60 minutes. Nylon dyes faster. Fabric will look darker when wet prior to washing, and then you rinse with cold water until the rinse begins to look clear. So that's what we're gonna go ahead and try, and if this one actually goes well, then I might actually do another pair. But I plan on doing something similar to this on another pair of Yeezys as well, so stay tuned for that video later in the week. This is a marble dye that I ended up doing on an Alpha Bounce. It costed me like 50 bucks, and I just wanted to give it a go, and I really like the results. It's kind of crazy how this ended up happening, and actually I used a really simple technique to make this dye look all marbled like that. So I'll show you guys that video soon, so check back on the channel. Be sure to subscribe. So now that I have the basics out of the way, we're gonna get the pot going and then throw these in with the dye. Also, this is the step 2. This is a color stay dye fixative. And if you guys wanna buy any of these dyes, as well as the color stay and the metal pot even, go check the link in the description to Amazon, and then you guys can go buy the dyes. I bought a bunch of different colors of these. I have literally like a dozen of them. I just wanted to give it a go and a try. You can also buy them at like Walmart and Target and stuff, but online has the best variety of colors at least. So basically they say that this prevents dye bleeding. I don't know if it's really needed or not. I know it is probably helpful for something like this when you're marbling it to prevent the bleeding, but if you're doing it all one color, I don't know if it's really gonna matter. So you can see I have my pot of water boiling right here, or almost boiling. It's actually just the right temperature. I think it says to have it so the bubbles are just coming up. So I'm gonna reduce the heat. All right, here we go, moment of truth. Oh man. This is gonna be interesting. So that midsole is gonna absorb pretty good, I think, to this color, hopefully. The upper would be crazy if it stayed this dark, but it definitely fades usually. So we'll see what happens, but I'm gonna go ahead and dump these in here. This is nuts. This is happening. So my pot is just not big enough to make this work 100%, but it's gonna be interesting. Craziness. All right. Hardest part is just to keep these things down because they kind of just want to pop out. Also, a word of caution, you obviously got to be really careful when you're touching this stuff because you don't want it to get all around you and ruin your countertops, and your wife or your parents are going to be all pissed. So be very, very careful when you guys are dipping this down. It will splash a little bit, but just be as careful as you can. Looking pretty good. You can see the coloring right here from where it stays out of the water. So I've been rotating them just to get more of an even look on the shoe. These things look dark though, it's crazy. I'm gonna fill up this bin with hot water. I don't know how much I'm supposed to add. Hopefully this doesn't ruin it. All right, so I added them to the fixative, and you can see that the color fades significantly on the upper, which was expected. So it looks a lot darker inside of the water than it does when you pull it out. But I still think it's gonna be a nice color when I get done with this, and something that I end up liking, but we'll end up seeing, I guess, here shortly. The midsole is really the part where it shines the most. Definitely took the dark brown all over the midsole. So once I ended up soaking it in this solution for like a half an hour, then I ended up rinsing them out in the sink in cold water until you could see nothing but clear water. So getting all the brown basically out of the shoe. Then after I did that, I actually threw them in the dryer on really, really low heat. And I basically ran it on the gentle cycle for a little while. I threw in a couple towels into the wash along with these shoes and then just let it tumble for a little while. And then I let them finish drying out in the sun for the rest of it. And all in all, I'm really happy with the results. Again, I was gonna do an orange pair. I still might because I actually got the orange dye. I actually might buy a third pair of these. If you guys actually wanna see that orange dye of this, leave a comment in the comment section. Just know that it's gonna turn this midsole crazy, vibrant orange, similar to what it did with this Kool-Aid red right here on this one. Also, if you don't wanna see orange, leave a comment and let me know what colors you would wanna see. It's fun just to be able to see the comments and interact with you guys down there, so feel free to do so. It definitely is a really dark chocolate brown, as I was expecting since the test one that I did showed that the midsole, even on the fake pair, absorbed a lot of the color. So I thought that this would have happened on the chocolate pair as well. So that is what it did. I think this upper is gonna fade a bit. It is definitely a darker brown, but it is fading as it is drying. You can see the laces right here are definitely a little bit lighter than the rest, which actually I like. I think it adds a little bit more dynamic to the upper. And then I also like that the piping and the 3 stripes back here are a little bit different from the rest as well. And the stitching down the back of the shoe and the front of the shoe are a little bit darker also. All in all, leave a comment and let me know what you guys think about this custom. Do you guys like it or not? I took this triple white Yeezy and then converted it into something a little bit more fall ready. And I don't know, I had a lot of fun with this. It was like crazy for me to do, to experiment. Glad I was able to use the fake pair to test it out so I didn't lose a ton of money, even though that fake pair actually cost me like $180, which is crazy. But it was fun to give this a try and to show you guys what you can do with this triple white Yeezy. Considering this triple white Yeezy is the one where everybody can actually get, they're easy to obtain. You can buy them from Yeezy Supply, I believe still in stock for $220, which is the retail price. And then you can go ahead and put your own little twist to it. So this is what I did. I will be doing another one of a marbled dye that will be a little bit different. So it will be a lot more colorful and definitely a lot different than this one. But I wanted to do a couple different types. So if you guys actually like this video, please give the video a thumbs up. It means a lot to me if you guys do that. It took me a lot of effort to do this video, especially with the kid in the backdrop right now, which the wife is feeding. Anyways, that is the video. Thank you guys for stopping by and watching. We'll catch you guys for some more sneaker videos very soon. Peace, guys.